Hello, I'm Natalie from the Early Years Alliance, and today I'm here to share with you some ideas and tips for how you can support your baby's brain development through positive interactions that you have with them. Baby's brain development starts long before they're born, but once they are born, there are lots of things that we can do as parents and carers to support that brain development. And these early stages are so key because this is the point when babies are building those neural pathways, those connections in their brain. And what we do at those early stages has a real impact on how they learn further along the line. Each time a baby experiences a new stimulus, then this creates a new pathway. And each experience that they have reinforces, changes and develops their brain. And early brain development for babies happens in the context of those close positive relationships that they have with their main carers. They learn best when they're feeling relaxed and confident and supported and loved by the people around them. So what we can do is build their brain throughout the day through our everyday experiences that we share with them. It's not something that we need to do extra things for. We can just be a little bit more mindful of how we have those interactions with them throughout the day. Now, babies learn by listening and watching and having those interactions through things like play and song and sharing books and stories. And I'm just going to give you a few tips of a few things that you could include in your day just to support that brain development. Babies absolutely love faces. They're really intrigued by them, and having your baby face to face with you lots and lots throughout the day is going to be really supportive for them. They like to watch our faces change and move. They like to watch our mouths as we're talking to them, and they like to look at the different expressions that we make. And by studying faces, what babies do is they start to learn what those different expressions mean. And they start to learn how we, as the adults around them, feel about them. So when we show them lots of those really positive facial expressions by sitting with them, facing us, so perhaps supported on your lap or in your arms, and you're looking right at your baby as you're talking to them, and you're showing them your smiling face because you are happy to be spending that time with your baby, and you're having those interactions, then your baby is going to feel loved and supported. And this is the moment when that brain development can really happen to its utmost. Their brains are ready for soaking up all of that learning because they feel so safe and so confident with you. And we can do activities that include faces because this is really tying into something that babies are just so naturally interested in. So what I've got here are some lids of different jars that you might have in your house. And what I've done is I've got some little magazine pictures here because I didn't have any photographs to hand, but I've got different faces that are showing those lovely positive facial expressions. So I've got some lovely smiling faces that a baby would be able to have a look at. And what you could do is you could take some family photographs of all of those significant people in your baby's lives and just cut them out and stick them into your tin lids. Now this is going to be really positive for your baby on lots of levels because firstly they're going to enjoy looking at these faces and studying those expressions, particularly if you're showing them lovely positive smiley faces, because they are starting to learn that that is a really positive thing when somebody shows that sort of face. What it's also doing for them is it's providing them with something that's quite easy for them to grasp with their little hands and pick up. So we're working on those fine motor skills as well there. If we were to give them something as thin as a photograph or a piece of paper, they would find that really difficult to manipulate and to hold. But by putting it in something like a small jar lid, it makes it quite easy for them to pick them up. You can present them to them in a little pot. They also might enjoy as they get a little bit older and they control their arms a little bit more and those gross motor skills are coming through. They will enjoy taking them in and out of the pot as well. And this is just a really lovely little thing that you can have around your home for your baby to enjoy. It's also a nice small thing that you can take out and about with you. Just pop it in your changing bag as something that if you just want to do a little activity with your baby whilst you're out and about, then this is the sort of thing you can get in there. So babies love faces, so let's give them lots and lots of opportunities to study faces, because that allows them to develop that interpretation of what different facial expressions actually mean. So that's our first activity today. The next thing I wanted to share with you is a few ideas of things that you can do whilst you're doing one of the jobs that you have to do lots and lots throughout your day with your baby, and that is whilst you are changing their nappy. Nappy changing is a really great time to build in some really positive interactions with your baby, because they're going to be laying in front of you on their backs, and they are going to be able to look back up at you and see your face. And this is a great chance for you to have some conversations with your baby. Now that might sound a bit strange for me to say that you can have conversations with your baby, but what a conversation is a two-way interaction, and you can absolutely have those two-way interactions with really young babies. One way that you can do that, and this is something that a lot of adults do quite instinctively actually, it's something that we just kind of do when we talk to a baby, is that we can imitate the sounds and the facial expressions that they are making. So we often talk to babies with lots of sort of like wide eyes and wide mouths and imitating those expressions that they are doing. They absolutely love that. It makes them feel really valued. It makes them feel really good about themselves, because you're giving them that positive interaction, and we're building that self-confidence and self-esteem when we do that. As they start to make those little sounds, which can be really early, we're not only talking about months old, when babies start to make those little sounds, we can copy those sounds. So if the baby's saying oh, ah, yeah, ah, ah. And what you will find is that when you provide your baby with the opportunity to respond, so they're going to need some time to process that sound, they will often then echo it back to you again. So you'll often find that a baby will make a noise, you will imitate that noise back to them, and then they will repeat that back. So it's like having a little conversation with your baby, and it's such a positive interaction for them. And again, it's a really key way that we can build those neural pathways, where we can build those little brains by sharing this extra stimulus, this verbal stimulus, this sound that we are responding back and forth with our babies whilst we're changing nappies. Another great thing you can do whilst changing your baby's nappy is to sing some face-to-face songs. There are lots of lovely songs that give them the opportunity to watch your face, watch the way that your muscles in your mouth and your cheeks work as you make those sounds, which later on is going to be really key for their communication and language development. So we could sing something like The Little Green Frog, which goes like this. Went the little green frog one day. Went the little green frog. Went the little green frog one day. Went the little green frog. But we know frogs go tra-la-la-la-la, tra-la-la-la-la, tra-la-la-la-la. We know frogs go tra-la-la-la-la. They don't go So what I would be doing there is I would be singing that song right to that baby's face. So we are looking at each other. And what you will find is that very quickly a lot of babies will start to imitate that tongue sticking out. They're copying what you're doing, and you're having that two-way interaction with your baby. Lots and lots of great ways to interact. Doing something that we've got to do lots and lots of times a day. This can be proved really useful as well as your babies start to be on the move a little bit more, and they're trying to wiggle and get away and turn over as you're changing their nappy. Actually, if they've come to realise that nappy changing time is when they get that really positive interaction with you and that little bit of one-on-one time, you might find that they're more inclined to be happy to sort of lay there as you're doing the bits that you need to do to keep them safe and clean. So nappy changes, great time for some positive interaction and brain building. The last thing that I wanted to share with you today are a few ideas of how you can support your baby through praise and recognition of their efforts and achievements. It's really important that we help our babies to feel good about themselves by recognising the things that they are doing. So as they are learning and as they are doing new things, which is often daily, that we're recognising that and they were giving them the praise that they need. This praise is often quite over the top, and for some new parents and carers, this can feel a little bit strange, a little bit like you're over praising, and it's not a natural way of talking to some extent, because it wouldn't be what we would do with another adult. But babies absolutely thrive on this. They need those really clear messages that we are enjoying spending time with them, that they are safe and that they are loved and that they are valued. And we can do this through their play. So a really easy play resource is our voile scarves. These can be bought relatively cheaply in large packs with all the different colours, or you can just chop up different bits of fabric that you might have. You maybe use some old clothes or some towels or blankets, whatever you might have, just so that we've got these smaller size pieces. And what this does for our babies is it gives them something that they can reach out for and grab hold of at quite an early stage. So we're supporting them with their gross and fine motor skills in terms of what they're tugging and pulling. I've just threaded some through like a little plastic toy basket here. Anything that's got little holes on it, kitchen colanders, you might be able to just poke them through the little holes on there. Kitchens are great places to look for things that you can use as a little play tool. And what this does is it just provides that baby with something that they can grab hold of, manipulate to achieve their goal, which for a baby will be to have this in their hand, to sort of claim this for themselves. You could do this supporting your baby if they're not yet sitting, to support them to sit, or they could do this actually as a tummy time activity. So your baby could be laying on their tummies and you could be placing this just in front of them, which will really encourage them to develop those neck muscles by lifting their head, and when they're ready to start reaching out and grabbing for these voiles. I've also got some here just in, I think this was from a charity shop. It's a little like toiletries bag, little travel bag. So just anything that you can sort of put things into that your baby can then manipulate and pull those things back out. Old baby wipe packets are great, the ones that have got the little plastic snap openings at the top when you've emptied them of your wipes. Stuff these sorts of things in there and let them pull them out. These boxes that tea bags come in are absolutely great. I've cut a little hole in the top, but they've got these kind of little hinged lids, so they're really nice for sort of being able to pull things out this way as well as through the lid, and you can sort of stuff them all in and just have a little bit poking out. So again, it's just providing them with that opportunity to be able to pull these out. And what we need to be doing is, when they're engaged in these sorts of activities, giving them that really elaborate praise. Well done. Look, you pulled the scarf. Oh, fantastic. You're reaching so far. Look at those strong arms. And we can add those little claps and show them with our faces just how proud we are that they're showing us what they're learning, and they're showing us those next steps in their development. So lots and lots of encouragement and praise, and showing them, model for them how to do it so that they know what it is that they are able to do. Guide their little hands to the scarves and let them hold on and pull them. So a really simple activity, but something that's going to give them lots of opportunities for praise and lots of opportunities for them to feel good about themselves. Another thing that we can do with our voile scarves is we can do some singing with our scarves, or we can play peepo with our babies. Again, thinking about babies' loving faces and facial expressions, giving them that element of surprise of boo, boo, and showing them that you are pleased to see them on the other side of that scarf, showing them that positive interaction as you're playing with your baby. So lots of things that we can do with our scarves. We can sing a little peepo song, which goes like this. Can we play at peek-a-boo? Peek-a-boo, peek-a-boo. Can we play at peek-a-boo? Play a game with me. Peep in, peep out, peep in, peep out. Can we play at peek-a-boo? Play a game with me. And what you're doing there is, again, you're just engaging with them on lots of different levels of stimulus. So they've got that singing, they've got that language there, they've got the scarves, the colours, they're looking at those shiny textures, and then they're enjoying that experience of seeing your facial expressions as well, that positive interaction that's really going to be building those brains. So have a go, get yourselves a little bit of fabric, and do some peekaboo with your baby. As they get a little bit older and they are developmentally able to hold the scarves for themselves, you find that quite quickly they really enjoy doing that peekaboo action for themselves, and they will mimic that action. They will copy what you're doing, which is all part of their learning. So hopefully what I've shown you there is a few ideas of things that you can do to support those positive interactions with your baby. And by doing all of the things that I've talked about today, what you will be doing as a parent and carer will be helping your baby to develop, to master new skills, and to feel good about themselves. And when we support the self-confidence and self-esteem of babies, we turn them into good learners. It means that their brains are able to soak up all of that information and all of those new experiences and interpret them as they develop and grow. So we're equipping them with everything that they need to learn. And a really key thing to remember, which I've already mentioned, is that as the parent and carer, you are your baby's first educator. They are going to learn so much from the things that you are doing every day. So just remember that you're doing such a great job with your baby. All of the time you are helping them to learn. But what we can do together is we can just make sure that we are maximising those learning experiences as much as we can. If you'd like some more ideas for things that you can do at home with your babies and children, then you can head across to our website, which is www.familycorner.co.uk, or you can hop onto our YouTube channel, which is the Early Years Alliance on YouTube, for lots of other videos for ideas and activities that you could try at home.